Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold. The scenario is GD 1938, user-based, basically created by Ernie Schwitz and Bomber. And we are really, I'd have to guess, 1 month, 1 turn away from war. I've done a little bit of scouting. I just kind of like do this little bob back and forth with my cavalry. I haven't done it yet, so we can do that in the south. Just a little jump forward, a little jump back. Grab the next one, little jump forward, little jump back. This is all giving me better information. We're at recon of 25. If I do that again, jump forward, jump back. Now we're at, well, still 25. Maybe we've reached the maximum reconnaissance we can get. I don't. Let's try to do an air recon mission as well. Okay, that's still at 25. I'm sure the reconnaissance here is great, but it's not helping us where we want it to help us. And I don't know how much recon. They have 1 point. This is just not even worth doing. I'm not even going to do it, actually. It's just not worth it. Destroyers probably have good recon, 2 points. So we can just muddle these guys through the straits. We could even go around the back. That'll take 60 movement points. So they'd be stuck. So I won't do that because if Italy goes to war with us, which they are going to at the same time as Germany, of course, we'll be in a big pickle getting any kind of fleet trapped on the west side of Greece. Anyway, I feel really confident still. It looks like what they're trying to do is maintain just a defensive line in the south, so Turkey is fine. So what we want to do in the very start of this turn, I'm not going to try to go through all my defensive setups with you. There's some stuff which is going to be obvious to me, like I need to move these guys forward. I have these engineers here specifically to build fortifications, probably right here. I might also build them. So let me get him not off of move, just so I don't make a mistake. Again, I have to do this turn all in one go. Especially, I mean, as soon as we go to war, that'll be especially when it's, I think, just absolutely inappropriate to do the turn twice. Just because it's possible to get different results. And it probably can be seen as, like, trying to cheat. I think our game is pretty closely knit, and I don't think that we'd have that reaction. But out of, like, respect for the other players, I don't even want to give them a reason to think that that might be the case. So it'll be just much better if we don't redo any turns once we're at war. Like right now, if I redo a turn, the worst that could be said is, maybe I did a scouting mission in the wrong spot and I want to get better information, so I did a scouting mission somewhere else. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. So let's do our OODA loop. John Lloyd would be happy to hear me saying that. We want to observe first. So let's just, again, start sending scouts. Now, I already sent my scouts down here. You can see this naval patrol is already gone. This torpedo bomber has already explored down to 1 action point, actually. We really got the most out of that one. So we've kind of looked at the front here. And what I see here, I'm not too impressed with. I suspect what's going to happen is there'll be a hard push on my hex here. They'll probably move, and attack. That will sever my line, my rail connection. But I can come in from both sides. I can come in from Kiev. I can come in from Odessa. So the main thing is, as long as I don't lose Odessa and Kiev, or either or, as long as I don't lose one of those, the units here will still be supplied because I will go through the fortress and around. Yeah, so anyway, I'm not too worried about losing this one rail connection, which may seem pivotal, but in my opinion actually is not all that important. Let's continue to do our recon missions. I haven't used these fighters yet. I thought I have a 5 and a 9. Interesting. I thought I had a 9 and a 9. I'm lacking a lot of recon in this area, so that's where I'm going to do my recon. Okay, good. So we can see that this is still, I would say, not too impressive. And I have, at the end of last episode, last month, we did move this forest green headquarters. I did change the headquarter, sorry, that's too far. I did change the headquarter colors a bit. Yellow and purple, yellow and pink are still yellow and pink. But originally my dark blue was... I don't know how I don't remember exactly how I changed this. Were these guys always dark blue? These guys were not light blue. This is a new color. So I'm just trying to figure out where headquarters are going to be, and then give them appropriate colors so that they stand out. The light blue is going to be all the way in the south in the end, and my dark blue is going to be protecting the Western Front from Klaipeda to Warsaw. It'll be reacting to whatever we have over here. So yeah, again, let's just continue our observe phase of the OODA loop. Let's continue to observe. And I think we're going to have a lot of stuff in this area. Let's check it out. Can we get another one? We can, so let's also do there. And if we can get even one more here, that would be fantastic. Alright, that's probably the most amount of information we can gather from that one fighter. But you can see even his little reconnaissance of the front, as you'd imagine, is very informative. Okay, they've brought up their Junkers, the Screaming Hell dive bombers. Not too impressed with this hex. Looks like they're trying to keep some armor in reserve here, like hidden. Again, the comparison with these, with my Type 9s, my Type 5s I have, I think, is about equal. No, never mind. They are much better. I was thinking the 109Cs. So they are much superior here. However, they are inferior to my Yak 1s. So we will be at an advantage. I have right now the Yak 1s kind of sitting back so that my fighters can absorb. Like, this plane is obviously useless, practically useless against the 109Ds, but once they're kind of cleared off the map and they stop sucking from my supply. Speaking of supply, I wanted to see, okay, good, our stockpile is actually increasing. That's good to know. Yeah, once they stop sucking from my supply, we'll be in much better shape. I think we went up by about 4,000 off the check. So what I'm going to do is put a cut in the video as soon as we do our reconnaissance, because I'll have all the information I need to act, and I think it's kind of interesting to discover that stuff with you. You can get my initial reactions. This hex will be black headquarters, and that'll be the extent of the black line. Oh, so for example, this guy was supposed to... forgot to change his headquarters last time. That's a bit of a misstep, but that's okay. Yeah, with your one action point, I don't think you can really do anything. You cannot... Oh yeah, these submarines also have really good reconnaissance. So let's get them down here. Sure, can they go here? This is another 24. Let's only do this. How much does it take to move back? 32. I guess it's 8 to move, so that means it'll be 40 to move back. We can go one more. It won't help. We won't be any closer, so we'll just move back. Now we also have submarine type 1s here. I guess I'll get them over here and then right back. I just want to make sure that I'm very sure about what I'm seeing in the back. We weren't able to get Bucharest with that little drive, but reconnaissance 105, 105, I think 100 is definitely sufficient to know what these units are. We know this unit almost perfectly, which is hilarious. So we know they're not going to push in the south towards on Turkey, which is good. That means I can relax my force composition here a bit. I only have 3 divisions, 3 German division or Soviet divisions in Turkey though, and I've been pulling the rest out. So I have just 30 riflemen will be my standard defense garrison for a lot of these ports and whatever. Between the airfield and the port, I think the airfield is more important in one sense, but you actually get unlimited airfields from these. So really this is kind of redundant, which means that I'm actually going to move this to protect the port instead. That this, although this is an important supply intersection, any of these places up here will cut us all off from supply. So, excuse me, started to yawn. So I'm not going to worry about that. We're basically just going to push the full divisions, which we have a few of right here. We're going to keep pushing them north, 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 back, and then over to the west. And then this 30 rifleman garrison is going to protect any of the vulnerable hexes, which I feel, any of the hexes which I feel are vulnerable. All right, let's continue our OODA. And By that I mean let's continue the observe portion of Uda. Alright, he can get here. That's fantastic. That's a great recon for him. And even if he has 1 hit point left, what we're going to do is just have him recon in his... Oh, he can't. Okay, so he is done. We probably have pretty good reconnaissance on these. 73? That's not that great, actually. But these airplanes are not going to be able to go as far as my recon did. And they'll be able to scan the front very nicely. So that's already down to 1. Let's get the Yak 1s, which can also help us view the front. I think we'll skip 1 because it doesn't make sense. This one is just going to gather redundant information. This is new and this is new. So, okay. But we do have quite a few Yak 1s, so we could probably do 1 in the middle as well. Why not, right? Okay. The light bombers also have reconnaissance. This is 4. Actually, they're better than the Yaks, I think. Two? Yeah, 2. And the light bombers actually have much better reconnaissance. I guess you can kind of think of that as loading them up with cameras in their bomber base. Something that was often done. So yeah, let's get their recon. Let's get them all the way over here, though. I want to see what's on the other side. And I can still march through. Wow, interesting. So I was expecting to get information on Danzig. I can still march through. We're not restricted yet with what to do with these ships. And so let's march them out. Ho-hum, look at us. We're moving on down. And we'll go 1 more, because 50... Actually, maybe like this, and then back up. That worked out well. So we don't have eyes on what that is, but we also have a submarine, which the submarine 2s should be able to move. Okay, these are also 8, so we can't go quite as far as I thought. Okay, and then move back. And we have naval bombers who can also continue to do recon missions. I really want this area to be covered. 10 recon points. Not that many. We're getting what Danzig has now. That's nice. Can still do another recon mission over here. Wow. Well, let's do it. Why not? We're not going to have much more information on this western side once the war commits. Yeah, because that'll all be pretty much off limits. Let's continue to get our recon over there. That was a good one. And now let's take one just close by. Just to try to get as much information on these hexes as we can. What's your... You only have 2 recon points, but that's not bad. It's still not terrible. Again, there. And let's do the second one here. Okay. What's your recon points? Again, 2. Well, it might be redundant. Let's see, 58. Let's see if it even helps to go here now. Oh, yeah, it did. It's up to 70. So we are actually getting what's in Stettin. So let's... Oh, wow, let's get all the way over here. Why not? Okay, fantastic. So Stettin is very, very lightly. Interesting. This makes for an, like, you know, in the back of my mind, the wheels are turning about some kind of naval invasion behind, trying to take land from the, you know, from behind the front. But we'll let those wheels spin in the back of my head. I don't think it'll ever materialize. Basically, how this game goes, I think, is more or less control the front. As with most, like, the wars during this time period, that's how it was. You have a lot of British cuteness, especially World War I, World War II. Think like Market Garden, and they also had, in World War I, they also tried to land some troops behind, right at the outset. I don't think any of those things were particularly successful, though. So. Alright, let me think, what else can we do for our Uda? We have a recon guy here. I don't know if it's important to just go here or just go here. Let's go here, because this is more important. This is, like, pretty well discovered for us, I think. So 10 points. These guys don't even have that high recon themselves. 5 points each. I think I also have some cavalry. Don't I have some cavalry? Oh, well, we have another type 5 here. Guess we'll get him here. And let's stop. We're not even running our fuel down that much, but I think that with over 100 on these, we basically maxed out the relevant information we can gain. The only one we could gain a little bit more from is... you can't go anywhere. If you could get down here, and you can, because a little bit lower, I think we're lacking a little bit of information down there. Okay, that's probably sufficient. Nah, 101, that's not that great. But still. Okay, so now let's just take a look at the front and see, is there... this is surely not correct. We do have light bombers, though. Recon of 2. Is it worth it for the heavy bombers? I think that their fuel consumption is too high. 4.8 compared to... This will also be 4.8? No, 2.4. Okay, yeah, let's leave the heavy bombers. Let's do our recon missions like so. You can do another one. Sure, why not? And probably another? No. Okay. That's good. These can also go and give us information. Here, I guess, is more important. Okay. 16. You can do the same. Why not? And light bombers, this is the important one. Let's get them all the way over here. 36 points, that's quite good. Nothing, though. Interesting. Huh. It's actually pretty surprising. So everyone's gone now. It doesn't make sense that they would have nothing here. Our recon is 83, which is certainly high enough to detect something. And 92 here, which is, again, certainly... I mean, we can increase that again more by just doing this. Okay, so there's units in the background. I think they just captured Vienna. So those units might be making their way forward. Well, we have to just bob in and out, because if we go there, it'll take 60 movement points, and, well, you know, we're not going to be able to get back in. That would probably be the end of that unit. So let's not do that. The way we set up the front right now with this vertical line, and it's the reason why I wanted to make the treaty a vertical line, is it's very hard for the attacker to penetrate a line which is like a linear front. I mean that this is a direct line. If the front goes in and out, you're creating, like, you can kind of think of it as increasing the surface to volume ratio. The more surface you have, the better, because that's the more attacks you can do, like 3-sided attacks. It means also increases the amount of 3-sided attacks I can do on him, but as the defender, I don't expect to attack. So this was already strategic, getting the line like this, and that's why I didn't even defend these two. You can see this one can be attacked by 3, this one can be attacked by 4. So what do we have down here? Man, what are they piling up at the outside the gates of Lvov? Well, they have a lot of cavalry. I guess that's probably to scout me as well. And we can move 20, 20. Get some more information. Yeah, so they really don't have anything in these two hexes. We are actually starting to gather information on some of their... Looks like they have some armored type units down here. This is probably not a particularly good tank. 280, not... That's actually much higher than I would give it credit for, but who am I to say? Yeah, it's a little bit strange that even has that high of ratings. Like, you compare this to my light tank 3. What would this be, a light tank 2? Okay, yeah, so it is shorter on the armor side. I mean, the armor killing side. That's fine. Actually, I think that's fine. The Italian tanks were not particularly successful in World War II. But, you know, that might be just because of bad commanders or stuff like that. I don't really think their tanks themselves were that terrible. They weren't great, but... Okay, well, let's try to keep this short. Basically, what I'll do is I'll cut now, and I'll come back in at the end with just what I've done. So we've basically gathered all the information we can. I guess let's just, before I cut, let's just go through what each square has, a hex, and see if there's anything interesting we should note. They are weak down here. I only have 30 reconnaissance, but this is plain, so I'd probably even detect if there's forces there. We'll be pushing our green, or blue, light blue I should say, into position here, and we'll probably counterattack into the, like I've always thought of this as the perfect counterattack location. It opens up the front, it spreads them out. It's really what we want to do, because this, if we can make the front like along this line one more than whatever it is right now, they have so much more to guard. Or even where it is right now, if we can just push this line, they have to spread out so thin, and I think that's to our advantage. Now, they have a lot here though. Let's see what it is. Cavalry, cavalry, 2 standard infantry divisions, 3, and some artillery, probably 3 and 3. 4. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4 divisions, 2 cavalry, 1 artillery. I don't feel very threatened by this. I don't think that they're... the standard starting numbers for the divisions is 33, and then 2 for infantry guns. So 33, 2. They're, I think, sticking to that. Oh, and 2 mortar. But I have reinforced mine with 10 riflemen and 2 machine guns. So I feel like our units, even though they look less, will pack more of a punch. Okay. We just have cavalry and 1 infantry division here, and then 3 infantry divisions here. Then they stack quite a lot here in the hex below the Vav. We have 2 cavalry, 3 cavalry it looks like. We have 1 light cavalry, 2 normal cavalry, division, motorized division, armored cars, but they probably are supposed to merge with something. Some tanks, but these are just 2Ds. They're not terribly combat effective, and they're going to do well against my infantry, but I have light tanks. I mean, I have anti-tanks. AT guns. AT gun 3s, what's more. So, we're going to be sitting pretty there. I hope I didn't over-prepare, but that's fine. I mean, I was left to just sit and do nothing. Alright, over here they have this huge stack of Air Force. So Krakow is their main Air Force area, I guess, because they have quite a lot. I guess this is where they expect to exert pressure on Lvov from, and that makes sense. So they have light infantry, some Junkers, some 109Ds, motorized, more dive bombers, some light, I guess this is light bombers. Oh, this is just the normal bomber too. Okay. They do have a lot here. I wonder if I should even attack them first. I was contemplating that. I don't want to do it from a roleplay perspective, but it would be fun. The person who hits first is advantaged. Now they have artillery 3, which I never got. I kind of was looking at the difference, and I think artillery 2 is okay. Yeah, I mean artillery 3 is better. Wait, do I have artillery 3? No, yeah, I have artillery 2. So they have artillery 3. They also have artillery 2, some tankettes. Their armor is not very threatening. They probably lost a lot in the west. Okay, motorized. More artillery. Small tanks. Motorized. Yeah, I think we've gone through all this. Small amount of tanks. AT guns. Interesting. More tanks, motorized, tanks. A quick group. This is motorized. Some engineers. Is that to rebuild the city? I don't know how the rebuilding city goes. Okay, they have flak here. I'll have to watch out for that. A lot of fighters in Königsberg. And dive bombers. And some 109Cs. Now, how do our Type 5 stack up against these guys? Okay, they're weak, but they are definitely a match. We'd lose the head-to-head over time, statistically, but we have a decent chance of getting some kills or doing some damage. Good to know. Okay. I don't think that they're particularly strong in the north. I guess that when we attack, we will be attacking, like when the war begins, we will be the ones attacking, I think. Okay, so I'll put a cut in here, and then I'll come back when I've decided how to orient my forces. Just again, to give you an idea of how what the lay of the land is, I'm trying to bring light blue down here because they'll fight better in the hills, where my tanks will not. And I'm trying to bring my tanks over here where they can still probably navigate around a lot of the forest and fight in the plains. That's the idea. So I will see you back in a moment. Okay, so I've done it. I've run through everything that I can think to do. Excuse me. And this is the result, which is basically where things were when you left. The big addition is I added in a new headquarters here. I decided that my navy blue was, I guess so this is my navy blue because this is my black over here, but you know, they're the dark color, the dark blue. So this headquarters was a little overburdened. It's still only at 88%. I'll be able to fix that immediately because I have some staff left over here. We're at 227, so I can just very quickly add some staff into that guy. And now he's back up to 96, which is, I'm fine with anything from 90 or above. So we do have a few minor changes to make with the rest of these fellows, but basically what I just want them to be, I don't like them being this high in staff, 120. That just makes them a huge target for bombing missions, I think. Just in general, I really don't like the way headquarters are done in this game. It's so, because his individual command is 54. And I've never had a case where I actually have a headquarters standing by the number of staff that he should have. And I believe, I'm not sure how it works exactly, but I believe even the percentages that he contributes, like the combat morale bonuses that he contributes to forces beyond this 54 limit, is decreased. Now, I don't know how it works exactly, I have to say. I just know that I never have the case where I can actually fit this many units under the staff. So you can see that this is preposterous, really. I'm almost 3 times over my staff limit, and I'm still actually understaffed. So how does this work? I don't even know what the solution is supposed to be. Are you just supposed to create a lot of backline headquarters? Because my, for example, this unit, he doesn't need to be here. He really doesn't need to be. I don't need to have my headquarters staffed by a unit. So that's one other combat unit I can have. I probably could have this headquarters up here not staffed by a commander as well. What I'm saying is you can actually just remove these. And then you can have blank headquarters themselves are not, you can have infinite number of those, but I'm just restricted in the number of commanders I can have. So that's the problem, is ultimately trying to squish too many units into too few headquarters and being commander limited anyway, so kind of forcing us to do that. And there's a lot of things we could do. Again, I could probably remove the commander from here. I could probably remove my, I don't know, I guess we don't have a commander for the Turkish command, so it's not relevant. I don't think I have any commanders over here. If we do, I'm actually going to remove them. No. See, I already don't have commanders over here. In fact, he's so low on staff and I have the ability to do it. I might as well just top him off with another 10, or I'll even just give him, let's just give him 8. I think that should be enough. Yeah, that was perfect. Exactly to 100%, just by luck. So he's not even contributing his bonus to these 2 divisions over here because their proximity is much lower than 100%. I didn't show you on camera, I think, but the Japanese actually have started moving units close to the border. Now, as far as I know, there's a pact where the Russians and Japanese and Chinese are not going to be going to war, but that seems to be somewhat challenged by the fact that there's a huge presence of forces. Maybe they're just there to defend against American invasions or something. But it's something to make you nervous. Anyway, so I put a showing of force on the front. 2 cavalry and one of my main infantry divisions. Hopefully that showing of force will be enough to deter any kind of offensive action. I'm slowly but steadily moving these units. A few extra units like this artillery is what I think I need the most of right now, so I'm going to strategically move this, and we can get them very easily over to the front. I guess we'll move them all the way over here. Or actually, I'll move them right here because I have a unit in here, which is... Oh, no, I have a unit here, which has only 3 artillery. So let's move them right here. We don't have rail connection? No, I want to move him with this. There we go. So we can do this strategic move it all the way to here, but I think I'll just move him right behind. 5,400 is really not that bad. Let's move him there. And we'll also fit him into the same headquarters as this other yellow. So this one, yeah, is yellow, just making sure. I'd rather have these guys switch headquarters to something else because yellow is already very overburdened herself, but that's fine. In this case, I'm just gonna let... Oh, okay, so I can't do that. Actually, I have to do it this way, which is a little bit more painful for the unit. I have to create a blank division and transfer him into there directly. And these are Asian artillery, so they are not... I probably won't combine them in the end with the other ones. I didn't even know that. In fact, I would not have moved them if I had seen that they were Asian. So the people is different, basically. I don't think they'll fight as well under our commander. So you know what? I'm just going to leave this guy. His readiness is already crap. So I'm just going to put him in the black. Just to make him different so that I know that he's not going to be quite as effective as... Or, you know, the burden of the command shouldn't go to a unit that's not going to fight effectively. I don't know the difference between the different people fighting for a headquarters, if there's any kind of... I naively suppose that a commander of one type, I guess they don't really have a type, huh? We have staff of one type. Maybe staff of one type of people does not help another type of person, another type of people. So I don't know. Just to protect against that and also to remind me that this is an Asian one in case I ever want to return it to the east. Because I like that for role-playing reasons. Like I said, I wouldn't have moved it if I had known. But now it's here. It's going to have a minor contribution, so that'll be nice. Yeah, so there it is. That's probably the rest of our turn then. We are just waiting for the storm to arrive. And I think it can't be much longer the next turn. So yeah, that's the main thing I did, is just create this headquarters here. I don't know yet where to move blue, and even off camera I'll probably have to move them, but I don't know where to move them, the light blue. I don't know where to move dark blue, because I've been saying light blue should go down here, which makes a lot of sense, but then they also have these submachine gun groups, which are not going to be good. They're actually going to be heavily penalized over here, and those are much better in the front. So I might actually break off those and put them into blue, since blue is going to be the one charging the forts, etc. So we'll do some some swapping, is what I'm trying to say. We'll do some swapping of units still. But I don't think I'm going to move these guys because I don't know which way I should, in the end, reinforce. And probably the answer will be both at the same time. I'll want some blue units here and some blue up here, which means that basically this headquarters probably belongs here, since he can reach 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So if we just basically pile on top of purple, pink, whatever, fuchsia, that's probably how our units will be best deployed. But I haven't done that yet. We have 4 groups of KV-1 divisions ready to roll. This one actually is still a little bit low on readiness, but 2 of them at 100% fighting strength, ready to go. Combat value of 302. So we do expect great things from these. The only problem is that they're stacking points. 4 for the light tanks, and I think it's, what, 6? 8 for the KV-1s. So they do contribute a substantial portion of stacking points. Normal infantry only contributes 1 point to stacking points. And I don't know how, I don't remember, I don't know if I've even fought. Have I even fought a combat? I had so many nations just concede. I might talk to Ernie about that. But yeah, it was just a little unfortunate. I didn't get into combat. It was good for us. I shouldn't say it's unfortunate. It was good for us from a political point standpoint that we were able to get more political points faster because we didn't have to conquer and wait for all the repairs to happen, which took just God knows forever for Kaunas and Vilnius. So, all right, well, that's going to conclude this turn, so stay tuned for the next episode. I might shift these forces a little bit more off camera, but basically, this is where things will lie. I was able to conquer, or not conquer, but occupy this last hex down here. The reason I did that is because I looked. There's a river here. It's really hard to see with the dotted line, but there is a river running, which is going to protect this hex. I didn't want it out there because it can be attacked from 3 sides, but considering the 3 sides that can attack it would all be facing a river crossing penalty, except for this one. This is the one that can just go head-to-head because there's a bridge. But if they bombard it heavily, they might blow up their own bridge. I've had experience with that. So anyways, all these things are leading to the fact that I think it's a good idea to put forces in here to defend. So I only spared 2 divisions, but I definitely had those 2 divisions to spare. And next turn, we had this arrival of the yellow reinforcements that came from the HQ directly instead of actually being transferred here by train. They just walked on foot down the road. They've now arrived at Odessa, so next turn we'll be able to bolster our defenses along the front as well. So I'm pretty happy with all the deployments so far. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of swapping here. Let's move this yellow over here and get the green down here instead, because that is going to be... I'm going to use my green reinforcements down here. And for the attack, to lengthen the front, the way I wanted to do it was to swing in from the south. I'm going to leave yellow posted on the front where they are. God knows we probably won't actually make any gains. But if we are, by some miracle, able to push forward, I want maybe green to start filling in this area. And then ultimately, of course, they have a long way to go. I'll probably start moving some of their forces south. Not the submachine gun ones, but I'm going to shift light blue down, and they should be the group that actually unifies us with the Turkish forces in the south. So, hypotheticals. It's lots of fun to sit here and talk at a map. All this is going to go to hell as soon as the war starts, I'm sure. As the famous quote goes, no plan survives contact with the enemy. But there's another quote that says, it's foolish. It's something I can't remember it exactly. It's like, it's foolish to prepare, or it's foolish to like expect your plans to work, but it's even more foolish not to plan for them to begin with anyway. So just the preparation is very helpful in working through the combat. Having some kind of idea of what you wanted to do at some point probably just enabled you to think through a lot of the different scenarios that may still happen. Anyways, I'm going to cut this one off. It's been a long one. Sorry about that. But next episode, war, I'm pretty sure. And if not, maybe we'll just declare. So, until next one, take care.